So hello everyone, and in continuation with the last class which we have seen regarding the forging hand tools and like forging equipments, in which how the metal, the workpiece can be heated and how it can be changed its shape and their properties by using different hand forging tools. So I have some elaborative session in the previous classes, and in this session the objectives where you will gain some information regarding the operations which are carried in the forging. So different operations are performed by utilizing different forging tools, which already we have discussed in the last sessions. So here the different forging or smithy operations, basically it is carried out with the help of some hand forging tools. So these are listed out like this, and like upsetting, drawing down, setting down, punching, drifting, bending, all these are the operations, smithy or some forging operations which are carried in the some smithy, which carried by the smithy and in the forging shop, like continuation, welding, cutting, swaging, fullering and flattering. So all these are some basic operations which are carried out, and depending on the purpose of the work which has to be carried out by utilizing the different tools. If you have the proper knowledge regarding the tools used in the smithy or forge, then you can easily understand what are the procedures are adapted by with the help of those tools in the smithy, right? We look at this one by one. What is upsetting, drawing down, setting down, up to flattering. We go through that one by one. First we have the smith operation, that is the upsetting, right? So have a look regarding this part. A round circular bar is considered, where if you want to increase the cross sectional part of that at a particular space or at the particular place, where it has to be heated at that particular position. No need to heat at the total bar. At a particular position if you want heat, then at that particular place it is reaching to certain point where it can deform. The deformation of that material will take place when you apply some compressive force on that material, right? So this process generally increasing the cross sectional area where the length of that particular part is gets decreased, okay, reducing its length. This process we are simply we are calling it as the upsetting process, okay, upsetting process. And only you remember that only that portion where it has to be get upsetted, or the thickness of the bar, that particular cross sectional area has to be increased. At that part only that bar is getting heated. So that is regarding the upsetting process. So hope you are getting understood. And the next smith operation is drawing down. So have a look in this diagram what we are performing with the help of this operation, that is drawing down operation. You can notice here the tools used in this, you can have like a hammer type of structure, that is a fuller tool, and workpiece you can observe here it is hold with a tong. Workpiece is placed in first diagram at the edge of the anvil. They are taking the support of the edge of the anvil, and workpiece is placed over that, and with the help of the fullering tool they are making the necking operation, or groove is provided here. You observe in the second diagram, they have taken the two parts of the fullers, that is the bottom and top part. That bottom part is fixed in the hard die hole or some Pritchell hole. The shank portion of the fuller is placed inside that. Now you are placing the workpiece in between the fuller top part and bottom part. Now if you are applying the compressive action with the help of hammer at the top of the top fuller, then it will form the groove, or some necking will appears. where it results in reducing the thickness of the bar, and what happens simultaneously, the bar length will also increases. Reducing the thickness, simultaneously the bar length will also gets increases. And to get the flat surface over the part of the grooved structure, we can strike with a tool named flatter. By placing the flatter over that, applying compressive force on that flatter, then we can make completely flat over the part or the on the workpiece, right? So we can utilize the anvil portion, the horn, whatever the horn portion is there of the anvil, we can utilize at the end of that, or we can utilize the hard die hole of the anvil also, right? uh, for drawing down of heavy parts like heavy work pieces or heavy work surfaces are there, generally we are preferring the fullers to decrease or to reduce the thickness of the bar. Generally we are preferring the fullers to utilize them, where we can easily draw down its thickness. Simultaneously the length of the piece will also get increases. So that is regarding that. Next one is the setting down. The main purpose or main aim of the in this thing, if you observe from the diagram, if you observe what happening, the workpiece is placed at the bottom or placed on the anvil, and by striking over on the top surface of that piece, what happens, the thickness of that particular part will gets reduces. That may done in using the different tools. You can see the fuller on the surface of the workpiece. If you are getting struck with the help of blower, you can see some grooves or some slots provided over on that. What happens, somewhat the thickness of that particular part will get reduces. Similarly, we can make it flat surface of that, you can make it flat with the help of the flatters. The flatter can be placed. If it is a larger workpiece, generally we are preferring the flatter, and with the help of the flatter and along with the hammer, giving the blows on the top of the flatter, then it will make whatever the red hot the workpiece is placed at the on the anvil portion. So on the top surface of the workpiece, it will get flattened. Similarly, for if there is any confined or some like a difficult shape, a small space shapes are there, in that if you want to provide the flat surface, generally we are preferring the set hammers, right? The main purpose of this setting down is to decrease the thickness of the bar. Okay, and for this what we have to use, what type of tools we are using in this case is the fullers or set hammers are used in this process. Okay, right. And here the setting down is initiated. It means how the process can be started, that to decrease the thickness of the bar or any surface, we are starting with the fullers. Fullers are initiated here first of all. Then with process, next further we are moving to, we have to go for the flatter tool, and the surface can be made flat with the help of the flatters, or in place of some confined or smaller spaces, we can utilize the set hammers. So finishing can be done with the help of these flatters and set hammers. So this is regarding the setting down, where the process is to decrease the thickness of that particular workpiece. Next one is the punching. As you know, the purpose, the tools are coming into existence in each and every process, right? The punch, where it used to mainly whenever the hot workpieces are there, if you want to provide any holes in that hot metals, generally we are preferring the punches. And the punches may be available in different forms. You see the bottom portion which is there, the first diagram, if you observe, just it may be in oval form, some tapered section, or if we can have not only the oval, like we have the circular round section, or some square form, or some hexagonal. So different shaped punches will be available according to the requirement or according to our availability. So we can make the different types of holes in the hot metals. It should be carried in 2 steps. It means a workpiece is placed on that particular die or whatever it may be. By using the punch, the one side, if you are going on striking at every time, it will become more harder to make a punch in that particular workpiece. What we have to do, we can after making up to half of that, then we can make flip of the workpiece. You can change other side of the workpiece, then other side of the workpiece again you make the punch. What happens, the hole can be formed very easily. So this is the two steps which has to be carried out. So work has to be turned out. Then on the same side of that hole it can be punched very easily. Half of the part is completed at one side, and the remaining other side you have to start on the other half side. Then it will be easily punch can be made or hole can be made in that hot metal. This is regarding the punching, where the tool used is the punch tool, right? So this is how the punch will look like physically, and the punching operation is carrying out here. See how it can be, and when the punch is made handy in the one hand, and on other hand we are by using some hammer, sledgehammer like that, striking on the top of the punch, then it can be enter into that hot metal where it is making the hole completely. Blind holes will be formed, sorry, the hole will be formed in that completely, right? The next one is the drifting, as the punching followed with a drift, right? So where it is used for enlarging the punched holes, or if you want to get smooth finish with the already punched hole which is there, generally we are preferring for the drifting operation, where we have to use the tool is a drift tool. So the purpose is the process of what the drifting is the process of enlarging the punched holes. So similar as the punches, the drifts will also available in the different shapes and the different sizes also. Okay, so this is regarding a few of them. Continuation we will see the bending, cutting, welding, swaging, furring, flattering also. So bending is a normal process which is carried out in the forging, which it is used to bend the workpieces according to the requirement, maybe 90 degrees, or to bend to some shape, or to the desired, to the required shape. The bending process can be done in this. For this, the metal or workpiece has to be supported on the anvil. So at the edge of the anvil can be utilized to bend it for some, like to bend for 90 degrees or to bend to some angle. Generally we have to take the support of the anvil, and then with the help of the hammer, whatever the free end of the workpiece is there, which is kept on at the edge of the anvil, at free end of the workpiece is struck with the help of the hammer, where it deforms the shape. So shape can be deformed. For example, instead of the flat some straight workpiece, it can be bent. That is a deformation. Material will get deformed there, right? And shape can be changed as bending. Similarly, next, welding can also be done in the forging. So as it is a permanent joint where we are joining the two same parts together after heating them into red hot conditions. So different joints has to be made before doing these welding operations. Okay, like the two parts can be made joint as a different joints, like a lap joint, we have the bird joint, right, and have some V joint. So before permanently joining the two parts together, first we have to make some different forms or different shapes to get joint of in between the two parts together, like lap in the sense placing one above the other, like this. One metal part is lapping on the other metal, then we can go after striking with the hammer, then it can be uniformly make contact with the other part. Then welding will happen. After making it cool, it permanently jointed, the two metal parts will get jointed. Similarly, the butt joint in the sense the parts which are placed side by side, So for that some arrangement should be made. Then by striking at the edges, it can be bulged and it can be placed side by side. If you are making striking, giving some compressive force on between them, then the two metal parts will attach together, right? So joint can be made like that, that is a butt joint. Similarly we can make the V joint also. Similarly the shape it may be V and other part will be like this. So here two metal parts are, the shapes are made like this, and by applying some hammering action, the uniformly it can be joined together, and the process can be made is a welding process. Different joints has to be prepared before going to the welding process, right? So this is how the process of joining the two pieces of metals. For what, for to achieve them, the parts primarily it has to be heated to the plastic state, and the process is continued by hammering. So two ends of the parts are shaped before welding, as what I have told. Different shapes can be made, like a different we can get the different joints like lap joint, bird joint, and some V joints like that. So that shaping process of between the two contacting surfaces or two contact workpieces, that process, shaping process, is named as scarfing. Remember that word, scarfing. Okay, proper shaping of the contact surfaces. After that the welding can be done by striking over the in between the two parts, they can get welded to each other. Next one is the cutting operation. So for cutting, generally I think you remember the tools which is used to cut the hot metal or whatever the hot like cold metal or cold work pieces. Generally we are preferring the chisels. Hope you remember that chisels which are used for cutting purpose of the work pieces, which may be hot or which may be the cold metals. Removing this excess material to cut the particular length of the metal up to that part, we can cut with the help of the chisel by applying some hammering action with the help of hammer. So removing some excess material, it can also be considered like that. From the stock, whatever the total length of the bar is there, from that stock, we are calling it as a stock. From that, whatever the heated portion is there, if in the heated portion, if you want to cut, for example 10 mm, you can cut at that part. Okay, with the help of the, by placing some hot chisel we have to use. Why? Because the part is heated. If it is not heated, if it is a cold workpiece, we can generally prefer the cold chisels to cut that by applying the hammering action. Okay, so this is regarding the cutting operation which is carried in the smithy or forging. And so also cutting also done to separate the required length. So this is also one thing, and which is taken from the stock bar. Right, after cutting, then we can see other operation like spaging, as we have the idea regarding the spage tool. There is a spage tool, and also I think you have remembered the spage block also. So different sized holes or different sized the square type of holes, round holes, and some grooves, V groove or semicircular grooves are present on the spage block. And have discussed spage tool also separately, where you can see in this diagram the spaging operation is nothing but it is to, this operation is done to reduce and finish the work to desired shape, whatever the portion is there in between these spage tool. So bottom part is fixed in the hard die hole. You can see the the shank portion, the shank is inserted into the hard die tool, hard die hole, and top part is placed, the workpiece is placed in between them, and on the top part we can give the blowing action with the help of hammers. Not only the circular shape, we can make any of the shape, either it may be square, it may be rectangle, or it may be the hexagonal shape or any pentagon shape. According to our requirement, the shapes can be made. Okay, the main thing is you have to the part which you are taken, it can be reduced in this die, and the work can be finished according to the shape what he has provided in the spaging operation. So for small jobs, the top and bottom swage pair is used. Mostly we can use the swage tool, mostly preferring for smaller jobs. Then we can get the exact shape of them with the help of this swaging tool with the combination of the hammer, which is used to blow over the swage tool. Next one is the fullering. Discussed a number of times the fullering and flattering. The tool used for this is the fuller tool. What we have seen setting down operation, we have seen that there where the metal part which is heated, we have to making some groove portions, or reducing the thickness of that part, or necking operation is done. So all this can be happened by using one of the tool as a fuller tool. Here we have the fuller tool separately, which is made again similar to like what we have seen earlier. The fuller is also having the bottom part and the top part. So bottom fuller, which is having the shank portion, the shank is inserted into the hard die hole of the anvil, and the top fuller, in between the top and bottom fuller, the workpiece is placed, and by applying the hammering action, the groove or some like a keyway or slot which can, or necking operation, reducing the cross section of that, it can be done with the help of this fuller. So whatever the operation which is carried out, so that operation is the fullering operation. So generally we are preferring for making the grooves or to reduce the cross sections, then we can make with the help of this fullering operation. Okay, and how the force is applied on the top fuller, we can make utilization of the sledgehammer in this, used for making shoulders or the grooves across the metal. Next one is the flattering. This is the process of obtaining smooth surface on the workpiece, so which is used for large workpieces, some large area, whatever the large workpieces are there. If you want to obtain the smooth surface on the workpieces, generally we are preferring the flattering operation. When there is a congested space, then we can go for the set hammer. Small spaces if you want to make flat on that particular space, generally you can prefer the set hammers. Flattering is most suitable for the large area which has to be get flattened. Okay, then on the flatter we can strike with the help of the hammer, sledgehammer, then it can make the flat over that. So these are regarding the different operations which are carried out in the smithy section or in the forge section. Basic using some basic hand tools, right? And in continuation we will see what are the defects in the forging. So they may produced, why? Because these defects will be produced depending on following conditions. Why the errors are obtained in this forging operation? It may depends on following things like quality of the product is poor, because the received lot or whatever the stock material is there, completely it is a poor quality. When you are working on that metal, on that particular quality of that material, then definitely the defects will arises in this process, right? Similarly, next thing, why the defects are arised means the techniques followed for that particular thing, or the process which is required for that particular forging has to be followed exactly. If you are not following that, then defects will be arised in that. And similarly, we have to know the metal property, like at what particular point the metal will get melted. What is the melting point of that particular metal? So below that point it has to get heated, so proper heating should be done, right? Then only we have to go for the next hammering operation, like that. So improper heating before hammering, this is one of the thing why the defects are erased in the forging process. Improper heat chesi, if you are striking with the help of hammer, some defects will arise, like surface cracks will appears on the cracks, small on the surface you can see the cracks over that. So this is what you can get with the help of this thing. And next one is the faulty design of die equipment. This is also one criteria where you can get defects in the forging. The whatever there are some press forges will be there, some machined equipments will be there for pressing the large hot workpieces which is there, which is not done with the help of manually. There we can use some dies. For that, if there is any design faulty designs are there we can get some defects in the forgings. Okay, like a few of them we can discuss. The first one is the cold sheds. This will occur whenever the proper welding is not done. When your the joint has made and we are going on striking with the hammer. Okay, then finally what happens, both the metal will get contact with each other, and after cooling it will get welded. So during this process, if the welding or the striking, during the striking of that, if they are not uniformly passed over the other metal, or the continuity of that particular metal is not there on the other metal, there is a discontinuity. Or some other time what happens, it may get folded. After moving to some extent, the metal will get folded at one point, so there is a discontinuity. So welding is not done, the metal is not done correctly. Okay, or whatever the two mating parts, whatever it there, that at that junction the folding has not done correctly. During that case, some cold sheds will develop there. Okay, you can see this is a diagram of the cold shed. This is the internal the part actually. The welding is doing here by applying some hammering or press forging. Here the two joining parts are not made each other. This is what the defect. Cold shed will appear here. In press forgings or in machine forging, generally this will be occurred due to poor die design. Both the sides it has to be pressed correctly. If the design is not perfect or incorrect positioning, the workpiece what happen, they may get slightly it will not be filled over that, then cold shed will occurs there. Folding of the two pieces will get occurs. So that is regarding the cold sheds. Surface cracking, as I have discussed earlier. Why? Because when you are working at low temperature conditions, metal improper heating, due to improper heating, when you are going on striking with that, the surface cracks will develop. So surface discontinuity under by result of what we can expect that due to surface discontinuity, it means why it occurs. If they are not uniformly, it is not forming on the two surfaces. We are going on excessive. We are striking on that. If it is heated to proper temperature, we can apply the hammering action. Then it can be easily distributed over that. Then there is no problem. If you are not heating properly, if you are applying number of blows or number of hammering action at that, why? Because at low temperatures, then what happens, some cracks will develop, surface will not make continuity, so discontinuity will occurs and cracks may develop at that point. Next one is the flash line cracking, where this mostly it will happens in the closed die, where there is a press forging, automatic press forging is there. There is a closed die in the sense the shape which we have to get there. So in that shape, we are calling it as a die, where the workpiece is placed in the die. In that, you can see at that some other side of the die, there is a flash will develop in between the two, in between the workpiece, just like a crack. The white part which is there in between the two dies, a crack is developed in between them. So that you are mentioning it as a flash. Next one is the internal cracks. So this can develop during the upsetting operation. You consider both or the press presses are there. In between that workpiece is placed hot workpiece, and the internally some tensile stresses will develops in the material, and this results in cracking the inside of the material. So proper design of the dies is one of the how we can minimize the defect is the proper the die design should be proper, or and here and the workpiece has to be placed properly in the die, then we can avoid the internal cracks. Similarly, pore impressions. So this pore impression will also due to pore impressions means the metal what we are heated, that is placed in the die cavity. You are getting that point, die cavity. If after during that press, what happens, if the metal is not flowing or uniformly it is not forming in the die, right? So impression is, instead of the circular member, just like some oval shape is developed inside that. So impression is not exactly, this is also one defect where it will depends on the metal flow nature. It has to be flow or it has to be distributed uniformly in the die cavity. Next one is the mismatched forging. This is also due to the misalignments of the dies. There will be two lower and upper dies will be there. Alignment should be made properly. Actually it should have some pins will be provided where the dies position should be adjusted, and the defects can be prevented with the help of these the defect which is arised due to misalignment of upper and lower die blocks, that is named as the mismatched forgings. And the final one is the safety in forging. Why? Because it is carried as a hot work pieces, we are the operations are carried out, so must and should some precautions or safeties has to be followed. In the workplace, the sufficient light should be provided, ventilation should be there, and some fans should be provided. Why? Because it is a hot working condition where the coal is burning in the forge. Some flames or fumes are provided there, smokes are provided. It should be exhausted, with the help of some exhaust fans should be provided within the workshop. And proper tools according to the job what we are performing, the proper tools has to be utilized there. And hammer, whatever we are using the hammers, that must and should be free from oil. Why? Because they may get skip away and damage may occur, accidents may occur. So hammer faces should be free from the grease or oil. And use of proper shoes or aprons is essential in these things. All these are the safety in forgings. Okay, hope you have got some information regarding these forging operations, defects in the forgings, and some safety precautions which has to be followed in the forgings. So this is regarding the forging chapter. So do refer the videos posted to you regarding the tools, some advantages, disadvantages and applications, and seen some equipment, forging equipments, and some discussed on the fuels. And in this session, so these are the some discussions what we have made. So follow all the things, and this is the end of the forging chapter. And next we see the sheet metal. We have the sheet metal and we have the discussion on that also. So thank you.